asking the question, can Spain really finish third in their Group H?
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible.
It's in the realm of possibilities.
Yeah, but we'll talk about exactly how possible it is. Now, of course, it is worth setting up that the final games of this group are Spain against Uruguay and then Cabo Verde against Saudi Arabia. The current position in the table would suggest that if Uruguay beats Spain and Cabo Verde beat Saudi Arabia, that Spain would finish in third and go into really throw up the entire draw. Now, Spain obviously performing very well in their second match against Saudi Arabia, but what do you make in the overall of this group, Aaron?
I have not been impressed with Uruguay. I expected much more from them coming into this tournament with the quality of players that they have, with the history they have, with how they came into the tournament. I've been incredibly impressed with Cabo Verde, the fans, the surprises that they brought us, the performances so far. The Spanish team has been a mixed bag, which I really expected based on the injuries. But when you bring in the big guns, when you see Lamine Yamal from the start and how he performed against Saudi Arabia, this is the team that you can see going really, really far, and you see why because of their quality. But overall, it's been a really, really interesting mixed bag. I've been so impressed by Cabo Verde, though.
But when you look specifically at this final match day in Guadalajara, that'll be a great game and a great atmosphere between Uruguay and Spain. There's been significant disappointment from the Uruguayans about their performances in their first two games. They'll feel it should have been 6 points. They instead only have 2. What chances do you give Uruguay of pulling off an upset in this game?
I actually do give them a pretty significant chance because I think Spain, having secured their passage to the next round, will rotate. They've got plenty of players who have had a lot of minutes this domestic season. Players like a Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, who are coming off injuries, who are going to need to probably sit and play fewer minutes, and the motivation isn't as high to go all out and push themselves against Uruguay. And on the other side, Uruguay need the win, so I do give them a pretty good chance of beating the Spanish side. Spain are a better side, even with rotation, but I think the motivation from Uruguay gives them the shot to really win today.
So we asked the question at the beginning, can Spain really finish in third? Let's talk about the actual percentage chance of that happening, courtesy of our friends at Sofascore. On that bottom right there, it says 4.8%, which would require them to lose to Uruguay and for Cabo Verde to beat Saudi Arabia. It is incredible, given the expectations you might have had for Cabo Verde coming in. That seems to be the more likely result, is Cabo Verde beating Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and it does 4.8% seems like such a low probability for this result. It's a result that I feel like has a very strong chance. 4.8 seems crazy to me. I would have put it, if I was the one making up the percentages, right around 45, something like that. I believe Cabo Verde will beat Saudi Arabia. I think the belief that they have in this team, the quality they've shown so far, I haven't been impressed with Saudi Arabia, and I think Uruguay have what it takes, like I mentioned, to beat the Spanish side. So it's going to be a really, really interesting battle with both of them.
So we look at their recent run of results. There are a lot of draws here on the board. Now, by the way, the draw is actually kind of a fun possibility. If they draw and Uruguay and Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia draw, then Uruguay might finish second, which would set them up for a round of 32 matchup against Argentina, which would be absolutely incredible. But in terms of what we're talking about with Uruguay and their sort of lack of form, that hammering they took against the United States, the disappointment that they've had going forward, do you think the fact that they're playing in a different game, where they're not asked to make the game as the protagonist, but rather reacting to what Spain do, could that change the dynamic for them maybe in this final game?
I think that lends itself better to how they want to play and how they want to approach the match. I think Uruguay always function better as an underdog. They have that battling mentality. They want to fight. They want to be backed into a corner and punch their way out. It's very Bielsa-esque. But I do think today in a match against the Spanish side, I think they match up well with how they want to counterattack. And again, this will be a rotated Spanish side. This will not be the full first 11. So they have a really, really good opportunity today to go ahead and secure a good position in this group.
Yeah, this is our matrix of outcomes.
This is so confusing to me.
And it's really crazy that the most likely outcome that they have is this game finishing 1-1.
Yeah.
1-1 right there. So if it's 1-1, then we're sort of into that drawing scenario. Now, Uruguay are in a vulnerable position. If they do draw this game, they would only be on 3 points. If Cabo Verde win their game, then they would be Uruguay potentially in third. Even if Saudi won the game, it would be Uruguay in third. So there is that risk for them of potentially not advancing at all, which would be a fairly disastrous outcome for them. Which do you think is the most likely score that you would give for the Spain-Uruguay match?
It would be The one is
So
Uruguay.
Spain is going horizontal and
1-0.
1-0 to Uruguay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a very, very narrow one. I don't think that if Uruguay win, there will be a ton of goals in it. I don't think there will be a ton of goals in this one, period. I don't really see a real push for Spain to go all out, to really risk anything, risk injury, risk any sort of ill advantage going into the next round. And Uruguay have, again, everything to play for. So I don't think they'll score a ton of goals today, but I think they'll get a narrow win, a 1-0 win against the Spanish team.
Now moving to the other game in the group between Cabo Verde and Saudi Arabia, here is the range of outcomes for them. Now this is for Cabo Verde to finish second in the group. All they really have to do is win, and for Spain to get a win. Then there is, of course, if they draw, they would have to be a score draw where they get more goals in the game, because let's say Uruguay also draw, then it comes down to goals scored as the primary tiebreaker. Cabo Verde can win by 3 or less, and Uruguay also draw, and then Cabo Verde win and Uruguay beating Spain by a higher margin. So there are a range of results. Cabo Verde to finish second in the group.
Who would have predicted this coming into this tournament?
Absolutely no one.
Not a single person. And if you say you did, you're lying.
You're lying. You're lying. Everyone had Spain, Uruguay in some order, and then Cabo Verde and Saudi in some order. Maybe Cabo Verde to finish third, but 100%. Second would be absolutely crazy.
Out of the realm of possibilities for anyone before this.
Yeah, absolutely mad for Cabo Verde, what they've achieved, obviously getting the point against Spain, but then following it up with a point against Uruguay. So these are the lowest population countries into the knockout round of the World Cup. Of course, Uruguay is a country that has always outperformed. Sometimes population can be a bit of a red herring when it comes to analyzing football, but Uruguay, one of the first real footballing powers in the 1920s, won the Olympics, then, of course, win the first ever World Cup, which they hosted. And then Northern Ireland, of course, getting to the knockout round is currently the smallest, but Cabo Verde approximately only 500.
It's a Brooklyn neighborhood right there. A Brooklyn neighborhood could make it to the knockout rounds.
It's like one high-rise in New York City, making it all the way. Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Incredible.
I want you guys to get involved in the YouTube comment section, and some of you already have. Long live Brazil, and long live the people of Cabo Verde.
Love that.
Well done. And again, it's just amazing for them. The way that they responded in that Uruguay game, the way that they scored goals, the way that they punished the Uruguay errors in that game, they competed genuinely with one of the traditional South American powers.
Yeah, and they have just stomped all over the idea that teams shouldn't. Cabo Verde obviously earned it, but the expansion of this World Cup, the results that we've seen across the board have just stomped all over that notion that these teams don't belong here, except for Czech, bro.
Check. Get out of here. Okay, so let's go through the Sofascore predictions. They ran 100,000 simulations of the World Cup before this thing began, and they're running simulations and everything now. Spain to finish top of the group at 87.5%, which still does leave that range of outcomes for Spain to finish second, 7.7%. But you look at the most likely outcomes for all of them. Cabo Verde to finish second, most likely at 55%. For Uruguay, most likely to finish third at 70%. I will say, though, me personally, I'm rooting for this second scenario. It's very narrow.
So
Argentina against Uruguay in Miami.
Fireworks.
Oh my God, would be amazing. Would be amazing. And then we can kind of cover the range of opponents as well for some of these teams. So for Spain, they of course would face a third place team, most likely to be Austria in the round of 32. Could also be Algeria. And then moving forward would be that runner-up, I believe, in the Portugal-Colombia group. Right now, it could potentially be Portugal. And then if they finish as second, you face Argentina in the round of 32. Are you kidding?
Absolutely.
Are you kidding?
Absurd.
We're losing one of those two teams in the round of 32. Would be absolutely crazy. If the scenario that you mentioned plays out, that's an all-time early knockout round game.
Round of 32. All-time.
And remember, the top 4 teams in the World Cup were intentionally drawn into separate quadrants of the bracket.
So
if they won their group, if they don't win their group, then all of a sudden we see it in the round of 32.
There's everything in the chaos.
Yeah, and then if they finish third, if you're Mexico watching today, let's not have this happen, please.
Look away.
No, please, for the love of God, can we avoid Spain in the next round? But Spain, obviously, this is the drama.
Can you imagine after such an incredible group stage if Mexico didn't have to go and play Spain?
Oh, my God. At the Azteca. It would be a movie. It would be a great game.
Man.
But get involved in the comment section. Tell us what you think of this group and if Spain could potentially fall all the way down.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.